This is the July 27th, 2016 Sustainability Board meeting. Testing. 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 Test.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Everybody's here. I'd like to call to order the July 27th, 2016 regular meeting of the Satellite Beach Sustainability Board. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the floor for any public comment on non-agenda items. Just come up to the podium, please, and introduce yourself and have at it. I think you get, is it 3 minutes?
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Nick Sanzone. I am a recent Satellite Beach resident as of Sunday.
Congratulations.
Happy to finally call myself part of the city I was born and grew up in. Quick agenda item for today. I'll pass this out to you guys. Basically, just concerns. There you go. Regarding some land that I've seen around town that's been derelict for some time, and I wanted just to ask questions and to kind of just generally probe the council and this committee as to any plans for this area. This area is the area where Peg Legs used to stand off of A1A in DeSoto. It hasn't been utilized to the best of its advantages. Checking with the property appraiser, it looks like it's owned by the city. If that is the case, it would be up to the city and maybe this council to propose some potential ideas or to ask the residents as to what they would want to see done at this location. I've heard a wide variety of things from people that I've talked to. Wanted to hear maybe something or create a subcommittee where I could be a part of to help create ideas to utilize this property to the benefit of the city. Any response?
Well, I think it's probably fair to say that this board doesn't really have any jurisdiction over that whatsoever.
Okay.
Courtney, do you want to give them some of the history on that?
I can.
Because if you don't, I will.
Okay, I'll do it. This property was purchased, over 10 years ago, by the Community Redevelopment Agency for the city. And it was purchased largely since Peg Legs went out of business. It was up for sale in since it's at a traffic light on A1A, it's a prime location for many gas stations to locate there, and drive-through restaurants. So the community around there requested the city to purchase the property, so the city did that. Well, actually, it was the Community Redevelopment Agency that did that. So the Community Redevelopment Agency actually owns it. The property was purchased for a pretty large amount of money, and now because of it was purchased well before the recession. So since that, the value had dropped to the point where we just kept it for a while, and now we put it back on the market. Unfortunately, the only thing that we're getting from potential buyers are from gas stations and drive-through restaurants. So we are actually considering, I'm considering, as a city manager, probably approaching council to let them, to advise them to take it off the market for now. And that's partly because we have a climate change project going on now, and we have where Stetson University is mapping a lot of our infrastructure throughout the city, and we have a fire department that's in a bad area from an elevation standpoint. So we are looking at the possibility of having to long-term move some public facilities, and we want to make sure that we have land to do that on. So we may take it off the market just for that purpose alone.
Excellent. Thank you for satisfying my curiosity. yield my time, unless there's any more information that would pertain to that property or future use. On the paper I presented, it was just to present an idea for utilizing it for some kind of a sustainability community location to inform the public of the Brevard Yards program, or whether it was any kind of civil service engagement that community service could be done out of that location. That location, probably not the best for an urban garden because of the salt breeze, but growing vegetation that we could use in restoration projects would be beneficial because of that salt air that would get on all those plants. If you were to do mangroves and grasses in that area as an educational place to put shade houses up would be rather cheap, and also would benefit any future landscaping, not to put businesses out of business, but to actually empower people to know where to go to purchase those plants, whether it's from Stone Harbor Nursery or Maple Street Natives, or other homeowners that might be able to help them out. So thank you very much for
You
your
may
time.
want to get involved with the community garden.
Well, also, it's almost like you have ESP, and you like know what
I
we're
do,
thinking.
but
you
that's
know. But we're also have in the budget, which council will hear tomorrow night, the proposed budget, funding for a facilities analysis, because we have from our fire department standpoint and public works, I would call it maybe a space needs analysis. And part of that is with the fire department community paramedic program, they're growing out of their space, and in looking at, they also have a lot of community needs from a meeting standpoint, and we're looking at some type of combined space for that. So we wanted to make sure that we involve this property in that discussion, because when we're looking at expanding facilities, we don't want to do a 20, 30-year expansion on something that may have to move in 10. So that's why we were involving this property.
But a point would be that if you're holding it off the market, and it looks like it'll be 5 years or more, let's say, before you've developed it, there might be an interim use along the lines he's talking.
Well, that's what I was saying, is so if you had a need for a community paramedic and admin facility, and those were functions that could potentially be separated differently than being all at one fire department area, that may translate over to having a building being constructed on this property that could be expanded later into a full fire station.
No, I didn't make myself clear. If it's going to be 5 years before you build, before you make productive use of it, before you build anything on it, and it's going to sit fallow for 5 years, that's an awful lot of plants or whatever. And like he said, a grow house, a tube house is cheap. You put it up, you use it, you tear it down, and you don't leave
You
it.
could put solar on the roof too if you wanted to power the internal
Would
plant.
be
I see what you're saying. Okay, I thought you were talking about interim, like community. Okay, yeah.
I have a question too. What about the Elwood property that's over by the beach across the street from Elwood that's vacant? I know it's right on the ocean, but it's also not being used at all. There's not really, what are the plans for that one? Would that be something?
That's in the plans for a pedestrian park.
Oh, we are going to do that?
Yeah,
Okay. I thought I heard that was done.
but it's really, a lot of the community around there didn't want to see it developed a lot, so we weren't going to put parking there at all. We were just going to put a restroom facility and some picnic tables and things like that, but pathways more than concrete. So that was really the plans for that. And of course, that can change with, going through committees and councils and things like that, but that's currently the idea.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go move into my new house, otherwise I'll stay for the rest of the meeting.
Don't sweat too much.
Okay, first order of business, discuss, take action on Smart Yard Advisory Committee. We have staff input on that, I think.
Yeah. So since our last meeting, the Smart Yard program has been incorporated into Keep Brevard Beautiful's lagoon-friendly lawn program. So I think we fleshed out most of the details for the actual certification process. All of the requirements are on this beautiful brochure designed by Austin. And, yeah, so, I don't know.
Is it possible to pull up the website on our computer for them to look at? The website that Allison did? Yeah. I think it would be, so what happened so far? Do you want to update them on this, or do you want me to?
Go ahead. Thank you. I will, if you like.
No, it's okay. What happened was, when we created the committee, we created a kind of like an advisory group of people that were experts in the field of landscaping and soils and agriculture and things like that, and the water and nutrients going into the water. And so we have participation on that committee from the IFAS, we have participation from the MRC, and participation from Natural Resources Department of our county, and then our chair sits on that committee also as the chair. So we had that group look at all the requirements that our fabulous interns over here put together. And
We have member Keep of Our Beautiful on the committee as well.
well, during that process, Josh brought Keep of Our Beautiful into the as a possible partner, and when we started looking at the two programs, we realized how closely they're aligned. And so we invited them to be on the committee, and we are now trying to mesh the projects together, and they are meshing well, because our idea, the Sustainability Board idea, was really geared towards the contractor side, whereas Keep of Our Beautiful is geared toward the homeowner side. And we were all talking the whole time about the need to create the demand on the homeowner side to drive the desire on the contractor side to become certified. So that's kind of hand in hand. And once Allison got involved, it kind of snowballed, because she's a hard worker and put together the website and all of the information that we needed. And so we're right now putting a budget together to go from you to council. And once we get that put together, we'll be ready to order signs and create the flyers en masse. And also on August 4th, we have a meeting with contractors. So we got lists of all the contractors from Indian Harbor Beach, Indian Atlantic, and Cocoa Beach and Satellite Beach, and sent a letter to them inviting them to this meeting. At that meeting, we will be rolling out the program to them and inviting them to participate. So that's where we're at. So we've really went pretty fast once we started, understanding where we were going. And so Allison, go ahead.
Do you guys want me to do a quick walk through some of the resources? Okay, so this is the webpage. It's posted on Keep of Our Beautiful's website. And then there's kind of now, with meshing the Smart Yards program into lagoon friendly lawns, there's kind of two aspects of it. There's the homeowner certification and also the contractor certification. So you can see this area, we have just kind of like a brief description of what the program is. And over here on the top right-hand side, that's where homeowners submit their applications. They also send us photos of their landscapes so we can know that any of the features that they're saying that they have, they really do in fact have. You can see this is kind of a little small example of what the signs look like. They are handmade from reclaimed wood. We just got our first batch of 100 made with help from a local Boy Scout here, so that was really cool. And then we have listed here our 4 core concepts, which mesh really well with what you guys were using for your contractor certification. So on the most basic level, we're encouraging people to minimize nutrient pollution. So a lot of this one of the core concepts is really what meshed really well with contractor certification, because a lot of the practices that we're encouraging people to do in their homes, in their lawns, is what we're going to be asking from the contractors as well. So the way that we kind of made this fit together is that if you're a homeowner and you use a certified contractor, you are automatically guaranteed to qualify for certification in this program in the areas of service that your contractor is providing. So it's kind of an incentive then to hire certified contractors, and it kind of drives business to those people. One of the other areas is reducing turf area. We also I think we kind of discussed changing the wording on that to maybe not retaining stormwater, but reducing stormwater runoff from your property by having permeable surfaces, rain barrels, things like that. And then restoring ecosystem benefits through native plants. So each of these kind of pops down into a little description of the concept and also some resources. We link to a lot of resources on our website. You can also see these are some other programs that we're directing people to if they want to learn more about some of these concepts or achieve even even more stringent levels of certification. And this is kind of how we incorporated the contractor program into this. So we gave it kind of its own little area on the web page here. We added all of these resources. So you can see this is where contractors would go to submit their application. And it pulls up this Google form. There's actually 3 pages of information that we're collecting from them. The area where the business is registered, the areas of service, places where they're operating, and some contact information, also license numbers, things like that. And then on the next page, we're getting into some of our requirements. And then again, a lot of these mesh really well with what we're asking from the homeowner. So we want to make sure we're following the fertilizer blackout period, no phosphorus without soil test. We want soil test results to be provided to the city, keeping grass clippings off of impervious surfaces. I'm sure these are all kind of things that you guys have heard before as they were developing the program. So it's all in here. So that's how they submit their application. When they fill out that form, it goes to a Google spreadsheet that is then shareable with the cities very easily. So this works well for working with Satellite Beach, and can also work well for working with other cities. We also wanted to be able to have a system for collecting quarterly reports from contractors to make sure they are following these criteria that we're asking of them. So this is that system, another Google form. So that's how we collect that information from them. And then also, Sally at UFIFAS put together a recommendations document for different types of fertilizers that comply with what we're asking as far as our requirements, which includes after 2 years, we want them to be 100% soil released organic fertilizer that they're using. And then there's also over here some resources for homeowners, so you can find the brochure here. And this is the brochure that you all have a copy of. And that just kind of gives people information about the program and about certifying as a homeowner, and also what your contractors are supposed to be doing. So that's easily accessible for people. We also decided that we should probably have a reporting system so that if people see any of these contractors doing behaviors that they're not supposed to be doing, that we can know about that, and then that would get reviewed by the municipal board. So municipal board is going to both review the applications that come in and decide who gets approved, as well as figuring out how to deal with any report violations. And then this is the system. We don't have anyone to put in here yet, obviously, because we haven't started the program, but this is the system for listing the contractors. So you'll be able to go alphabetically by city, just kind of pick your city, and you'll see the contractors that are part of our program and get contact information for them right there. And then all of our partners are listed down at the bottom, including the City of Satellite Beach Sustainability Board. That's it. Do we have any questions?
The pictures you're using, if not originally, eventually I presume those would be local landscapes?
Yes. If you guys have any good pictures, let us know. We're on that.
We were hoping to start some sample homeowners here in Satellite, and then also we're starting the, the contractor certification in Satellite. But if there's any homeowners that want to apply and be the sample, then,
Yeah, we've been kind of going around and taking some pictures of local yards that are qualified. So we're going to be swapping out some of these photos up at the top with images like that. It'll be a little bit harder to get the contractor pictures, but yeah, obviously we don't want to ultimately have a picture of the mountain in the background. And there's also, once we get the program rolling too, somewhere here at the bottom of the page, we're going to add photo galleries of lawns that are qualifying at the different levels. So there's kind of 3 levels of certification. There's the general member level, which mostly is dealing with minimizing nutrient pollution. There's also the silver award level, which is getting into some turf minimization and stormwater runoff minimization as well. And then the gold level incorporates all 3 of those categories as well as native plants. So there'll be kind of categories or galleries for each of those categories, so people can kind of see what these landscapes really look like. So. That's about it.
Also, since our last meeting, we have created a Survey Monkey. It's been up for about 2 weeks now, and we've had approximately 350 people take it out of the 10,000 residents of Satellite Beach. We would like for you guys, if you haven't already, to take it also. The more people we get to take, the more accurate it will be. And it has some valuable information up there, like who would be willing to change to organic fertilizers, and also who would be willing to support businesses like this. So the quicker we get more people to do that, the more information we'll have out to you guys.
Where's the survey on the website?
Yes, it's on our Facebook page, the Sustainability Board's Facebook page.
Also, as Ms. Courtney Barker mentioned earlier, in an effort to jumpstart the program, we are holding a public forum on August 1st at 7 p.m. in the Civic Center, and it's directed mainly towards the lawn care businesses to display how the program will benefit them, homeowners, and the environment. And the forum will give the businesses a head start on obtaining a large new client base that believes in a healthy, safe, and lagoon-friendly lawn practicing. We also encourage you all to talk to your own lawn care providers and give them a personal invitation to the public forum. And once again, the forum will be held here in the Civic Center on August 4th at 7 p.m. And we look forward to you and your local lawn businesses to joining us. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I would definitely just like to just for myself, make a really huge personal thank you to you three and Allison especially. Really great doing this coming together finally. And I just want to ask, we may take up on the subcommittee instead, but it seems like on the page where you go to find contractors that are certified, I think we need something that includes, like, not just a spreadsheet with their names and phone numbers and stuff like that, but to showcase them a little bit where they get to put, where their logo goes. Because that is sort of what we're promising them. And, and to really, make it pop out there where when somebody opens it, they see, and who knows how many we're going to get on there, and if it's on a spreadsheet and there's only one or two in each town, it's going to look and feel kind of cheesy, whereas if if there's a nice big picture there and stuff like that,
definitely.
Goes a little stronger.
Maybe if they have a website or something.
Yeah, and link it to their website or Facebook page or anything that they give us.
Yeah, I think what I would probably do then, if we want to be able to like showcase their logos and everything, is I'll just make a separate web page that this will link to if we design it properly then.
Yeah, nice.
And then we can also include those company logos on our website too, and showcase them through Facebook and say, the first one that gets certified in Satellite Beach is going to probably get a lot of press.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be so excited.
Yeah.
So I think we've now created, a program that's not only going to launch here, but it's also going to be transferable throughout the whole county because of their presence. Because before we couldn't get it out there, now we've got, the tools to get it out to the larger community.
I would say also that because of our partnership with the Indian River Lagoon National Estuary Program, we've talked about exporting this even beyond the capital of Lagoon County. So this
That's cool.
would really have a big impact.
Yeah. So good job.
Have any other questions or comments from board members?
No, but I did see someone in the audience with a question.
I just wanted to ask,
Why don't you come up to the podium and introduce yourself and everything?
Hi, everybody. My name is Jeannie Beatty. I've been in this area about 32 years. I understand what she did was excellent because I went to school to learn all that stuff. But my concern, once again, and all I can see in my mind, is the water that's being used for all of this. It's not mentioned. And so that is where I'm wondering where and how can we, I would personally do educational programs to educate the public, et cetera, but there's nothing mentioned about our precious water.
That actually isn't part of our criteria. It's minimal.
Because, I can see the contractors, everything, water, 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 water. So is there, because I don't know, I'm just beginning, Julie knows, I've been concerned a long time, I grew up on a Christmas tree nursery. And what can we do? Can there be something, we're doing all these, the contractors are going to make money, everybody's going to have nice lawns, but you know what? We have too much green, which is going to take too much water. How do we go about that?
I'll address that one. Actually, that will be coming in this program. Part of this program is going to include certifying irrigation contractors as well. And although I don't think there's, big deals with them dealing with fertilizer or anything like that, but lawn contractors, by their license, are not allowed to fool around with sprinkler systems. So we don't want to ask those people to, you know,
I'm talking about usage, the usage, like every month. I mean, I was asking her, I mean, there's flush taxes in certain states, there's surface water taxes. Did you know they are now taxing the farmers' wells in Atlanta? Their own personal wells are now being taxed, our farmers. So that's the concern, our water. And
well,
so,
this board can't really affect anything.
but I mean, anybody that knows anything that can help, and I can be part of that, please let me know. Yeah, because that's my big concern is water.
So I think that this program does require them to abide by the St. John's District rules on irrigation, so that's limiting
What
the
about
hours.
consumption is what I'm talking
Oh,
about. the
consumption? Yeah,
consumption.
this would not address that. This program would not.
Even the one on the 4th, that's the thing, it's the consumption of the water. How much are they using when they come in to do their concrete? How much are they using for everything?
In this instance, for this is for lawn care maintenance companies, so.
But would that not be part of it? If that,
No, I mean, that's really the homeowner education, I think, on their side, and then also what type of landscaping they put in.
Is that part of her thing? I mean, it brought in all the homeowners, so eventually we could do an
And
educational.
promoting native landscaping and you
Yeah,
know, lessening
definitely.
the use of water, and that is a big part of
Do
the
we
program.
have any meetings that are set up specifically, free meetings that are educational for the public? I
Yeah,
guess you'll get with me
we
on
just
it,
got
Julie.
done with 2 of them.
Okay.
A little while ago, we had a community, basically the agricultural expert over at IFAS came and did a program on soils and how you're amending your soil can retain water,
Right.
and native landscaping, using native
Okay,
landscaping to
very
lessen
cool.
your irrigation
All
use.
right. I've been here a long time, but I've been singing in the retirement homes and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
just keep,
Now I'm back in that, back with my hands in the dirt and going, what can I
like
do
our
to help my-
Facebook pages, because we do a lot of announcements that way of these types of programs.
Okay. And then my son was the one that was up here, so we're connected
Right.
pretty well to help the community. And we're glad to be here, and thanks, guys.
When you're talking about water use, you're
Yes.
talking outside or inside?
I'm talking, well, I think there should be a flush tax. If you're a family of 5 and 3 of them are women, you're, no offense, I have 3 sons, so if I'm a little biased, that's why I'm saying this. And it's true, you guys know this, and the excess amount of toilet paper and da-da-da-da-da-da, and flush, flush, flush. That's where we got to stop these people. And I told her the other week, the only way we're going to stop them is they're going to have to pay. They want to put a land tax. Good. But the land tax coming up is not going to make them realize every time Mary's in there for a 30-minute shower.
I'm pretty sure City of Melbourne, your rates go up the higher the use. So they do have a
But not
stratified.
enough, because look at the waste. That's what I'm saying. Not enough, because I've been in lots of homes, so I'm just kind of water conscious. I grew up on a big place with lots of water, big, huge well, and I'll be 62, so this is a while ago. And my father, born in 1901, I can still hear him say, "Kids, shut that water off." And he took the thing where the hose was, because I'd like to do with the water, and he took that, so I could only use it certain times. We had a well, so conservation is my big thing. But anyway, thank you for listening. Let me know anyway who you contact, who I can help, what I can do.
Well, the people that are interested inside is Melbourne Water Utilities.
Yeah. I know, I've got a lot of places to go down there, Julie, a lot of things to try to work, and see what we can do that's legal. You always have to be legal, I can't just go back to doing that. Shut your water off. If that's allowed, let me know.
I think that ultimately we are going to have, I think we will have a component in this program for irrigation contractors, and what we'll hope to do is to, have these certified lawn contractors refer each person to, and the way that I foresee it, and I think if we can put it together this way, I think it'll work nicely, that when you, as a homeowner, when you begin to deal with a certified contractor, lawn contractor, that person would be obligated, as part of the requirements for the program, that person would be obligated to at least refer the homeowner, hey, why don't you call one of these irrigation contractors and have them evaluate your system?
Could you, from there, also give the other side, here are people that you won't need as much irrigation and water in your lawn because you're going to use these native plants, you're going to use these rocks, you're going to do...
Yeah, that's what the program does.
Yeah. So then the contractors in essence, won't be making as much money because hopefully the people won't be putting in as much lawn and as much irrigation and then water use.
Well, they just maintain other parts of, a different type of lawn is what they do.
Yeah, that, which I guess maybe we could open them up to that, because there is one when you go down Pine Tree. There's a beautiful one right on the right, and it's all rocks and stuff. Now, we love our green, but we love our water too. So, yeah, let me know. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Any additional public comment on this?
This is Rapid, Ken Lindemann, Glenwood Avenue. Thank you for all of the work. Suggestion on sponsors for this program. As a board member of the MRC, just let's go ahead and make that happen. The Florida Association of Native Nurseries, where's the native component? Can we bump that up a little?
That is, well, Florida Native Plant Society is kind of in a summer recess. We are actively courting them as a partner. We do currently have Florida Native Plant Nurseries.
You have we have, great, awesome. I didn't see Maple Street. You've got them, but can we get FAN maybe? Could you approach
We're
FAN?
actively recruiting any and all partners. If you have
Okay,
ideas.
so FAN is the Florida Association of Native Nurseries. It's the statewide. It'd be great if maybe you guys could focus your talents on FAN. They have this, that'd be great. I look forward to talking later about accreditation. So you mentioned that there's a board behind this?
That's going to be reviewing the contractors.
Right.
And things. So
Okay.
each city will develop their own.
And that will be within KBB or beyond
It'll be
KBB?
the municipalities, so it'll be within the Smart Yard Subcommittee, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah, what we'll have to do is, we created that just for them to help us create
Thank
this
you.
program, but since it appears that we want to keep them on to approve applications, because they all are countywide people, most of them. I mean, the only local people we have is you, right?
Yeah, and I'm no expert.
Everyone else is from countywide organizations, so we might just, we'll talk about that, how we want to keep them alive, but we will be glad to staff them, with the secretary and provide the space and things like that, and we can appoint them as a countywide committee, but I don't know if we're the appropriate group to do that, so we'll have to talk that through, but we want to keep that committee together to actually review and approve the applications. So.
Well, KBB has the charter that they could operate, they can operate countywide anyway, it's under their umbrella.
We were initially kind of thinking that it would be done on a city-by-city basis, so each city would be kind of responsible for approving applications and handling violations reports for the businesses that are registered within their city. So kind of doing it that way. So Satellite Beach then would be reviewing applications and violations notices for companies that are registered within Satellite Beach.
We'll talk about that.
So the contractors that are being certified, are they the guys that cut the grass, or are they also the guys that fertilize? But not at this point, not irrigation.
No, at this point, there is a requirement that the lawn care contractors encourage you to seek, I guess, the advice of a licensed irrigation contractor. And then there are also components of being water wise in the homeowner certification. So kind of either way, if you come at it, you're going to get that component too.
Okay.
And that's certainly something that we can develop further in the future.
Is there a requirement to have a shut-off device to keep your sprinkler system from
That's a
coming
good
on?
one. There isn't currently, but we can certainly add that.
Water sensor.
The rain sensor, yeah, we require that on all of our things in the city. They're easy.
Can lawn contractors that mow, can they also fertilize? Or do they have to have, okay.
Well, they have to have the certification to fertilize.
They can't spray herbicides and...
If they have a certification, they can.
They can't, okay.
No.
And who requires that certification?
That's a state certification, and the classes are done through IFAS.
Okay.
Am I right? I'm correct, yes.
Yeah, my name is Dave Shantz, and we live over in the La Playa condominium. And I was wondering if we could do something, with condominiums, because, for example, we're a bad example. We have St. Augustine grass. really thick. Every morning about 8 o'clock, sulfur dioxide, just like, it just stinks to high heaven, like, it's just crazy, right? And then, every once in a while, a guy in a hazmat suit comes out, and where his mask doesn't cover him, he's all broken out, right? And he's from all these chemicals, and he comes by and he sprays the daylights out of this Augustine grass. It's just the saddest thing in the world, you know. It almost makes you want to cry when you see that, right? Because it's just so out of step. So what I was wondering is if there's a way to put Satellite Beach on the map and just outlaw it. That would be so cool. We would get so much fame for that. And make it so what we went and looked at John Fergus. It told us about the sand dune grass. We went to the corner and we thought, wow, this is impressive. It was the most beautiful grass in the world, sand dune grass. And it doesn't take, any fertilizer. You don't water it. The roots go deep, and it was beautiful. If we were to outlaw St. Augustine grass, it would put us on the map. That would really be cool. Your thoughts?
I wish we could do that.
At a couple of the last subcommittee meeting, I think it was Sally Scalera was telling us that, and I've, read and practiced this myself too, that, it's not that grass itself that is the evil culprit, but the way that people maintain it. They water the dog stink out of it and, and fertilize it like crazy and, and way beyond what even that type of grass needs. So, the original purposes of this particular program that the Satellite Beach Sustainability Board has part in is to, get folks that have that kind of grass and all that stuff, to make as big a dent as possible in what's running out of their yards and down into the river. And I think we're gonna achieve some significant success with this, and in partnering with Keep Brevard Beautiful in this program. I think that anybody that gets involved with this by virtue of their lawn guy, I think that they'll be introduced to a lot of other things, and over a period of time, go further with it. I mean, that's essentially what we're hoping. And, to some people, that sort of stuff will happen, and for others, they'll just do, somewhat better with what they currently have, and, and then keep it that way. But, I mean, my feeling has always been, every little bit that we can get anybody to do is going to be worthwhile, and, anybody that is inclined to want to learn more and everything like that, we just need to have, a consistent conduit to that to make it easily available to them to do better if they can be encouraged to it.
I'll just add that when you do something like ban something, there needs to be a direct nexus to the problem. And the issue is fertilizer and pesticides, and not necessarily the actual St. Augustine grass. So that's the first legal problem that I can see with that issue. The second thing is the best way to not to have a sustainability board next year would be to suggest something like that. And I'm just giving you a political reality of Brevard County. It's just not a good idea, in my opinion. I think we should try our hardest to do it voluntarily, and then look at, other regulatory issues later if that's not successful. So that would be my advice.
I think this, like many other things, the changes that we're trying to affect, I think, the tough truth is that a lot of it happens in a time frame that's measured in generations rather than months or weeks or something like that, and the more of this that we can get out into the community and, get people involved and interested in stuff, and then, we have a generation of people that'll come up next, and these won't be questions or problems for them or something that we have to try and convince people to change their behavior, but it's what, you know, what they already got introduced to because their parents began to switch over to it.
Even more rapid. Lindeman, Glenwood Avenue. I would mention that I have heard from reliable sources that what is the largest volume crop in the state? Sod. And so it comes with all that dirt. And the dirt's a big part of the problem, also the sediment that binds all this stuff. So when someone comes in by de facto, puts all that sod in, and they could put in half the sod, and half of it could be native wildflowers that don't need any fertilizer, don't need hardly any water. Helianthus, for example. So this will be a fascinating discussion as it evolves. Thank you. And
I have a comment for you. Have you approached your condo association, or do you have one?
Yeah, you know, it's you know, the condo association, I'm also working the same, you know, kind of suggesting, mentioning the ideas to, and it's kind of like a democracy.
She's not going to be able to get minutes if he's not on the mic. I'm sorry.
Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to come up with, sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that, answer your question about have I approached the condo, yeah, it's kind of got like 37 homeowners, so I'm, you know, you'll see them at the pool, so I'll start talking to them, and we're starting to spread the word, talking about that lawn that you mentioned in the last meeting, John, and have them take a look at it and build up the, you know, it's a kind of a democracy, right? Yeah. So trying to get them to change, that would be a great example, right? But La Playa was built in 1972, so it's the oldest condo, you know, in Satellite Beach. It's seven floors, unlike the others, which are limited to less. And so it's kind of everything's been grandfathered in. So we have a roof, you know, that collects the water. It's a membrane roof, and it takes that water and it dumps it right out into the ocean, unfiltered, just right out in the ocean. Now, of course, it is off the roof and a membrane. That's how it hasn't been stopped yet. But there should be some, you know, a lot of mitigation before it just runs right into the ocean. Right now, it runs right into the ocean. So, not something that we're proud of. You know, we've lived here 3 years, so we're owners and we're, you know, working on change. But like you say, it's a generational thing that, you know, you get new people coming in, and then they're maybe more receptive to new ideas, you know. But, you know, myself, I saw what happened when the EPA came up with Energy Star, and in my field, which is power conversion, they suddenly just passed a law that said these little cell phone chargers, they can't be those big 60 hertz things that were used to be hot like 10 years ago. You plug them into your wall, they were big and they were hot and they were extremely inefficient. And when they added up the power loss of all these cell phones, they passed a law and said it must be this efficient, right? It was something like 97%. And all the companies I was working with said, we can't do that, that's crazy. And they started, you know, really getting angry at the government for passing this law. All of a sudden, a company that did it, innovation. And then, you know, okay, everybody got to work. And now, you know, if you plug in your cell phone charger, it's cold, right? Well, it'd be the same thing with the lawn. You know, we're in a very crazy time where the pesticides and fertilizers are on steroids, you know, basically. They're not, I mean, that's basically what I'm trying to say is, in the old days, it used to be grandpa used cow manure. Today, these companies have these incredibly amplified fertilizers that just cause algae, right? And you know, even our ocean here, our ocean, it's, if you look at it, it's got tons of algae in it. The seaweed's growing faster. And so I think we've got opposing forces. You know, we've got the corporations that are, you know, like the guy with the hazmat set is making money doing this, but it's getting worse. So we're running out of time. We're going to have very stinky rivers, dead rivers, fish kills. And so, I think doing something drastic like the EPA did with Energy Star, we're saying, hey, we have scientists that say you can do it. We have people who say you can do grass that doesn't take water. We have scientists that say you can do landscaping that doesn't, take fertilizer. You don't have to destroy the environment. If it's suddenly you just raise the bar and say, if you want to compete in Satellite Beach, you have to meet this. The bar is now raised, right? So actually what the EPA did is they set the bar here and they kept raising it every year. So it's very, they keep raising the efficiency levels, which is ingenious, right? So we could do that. We could be like a model city for that. But I agree with your point. You got to be careful because we don't want, you're up against powerful, companies, and you could get the sustainability board dissolved, if we're not careful. So I get your point.
One thing I would say is that I think anytime you're trying to organize political action or legislative action around the topic, it always helps to be able to show that this is something that the community backs. And I think this program can do that. We can say, 60% of the people in Satellite Beach are involved in this program. That means a lot if we're trying to pass something. And I would definitely encourage you to, because this program, you said you've been talking to your HOA, this gives you like a framework for that, and it gives you incentive for them to join. So I definitely encourage you to look at
By the way, I want to say this is awesome. My apologies for coming in a little late, but I've got the website, so we plan to use it.
Yeah, we'll be launching in August.
If you would like us to come to your association meeting to present this, we'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. But that would be one way to speed things up at the fire.
We'll be glad to.
That's a great idea.
Anything further on that? Okay, next item of business. Discuss take action on rooftop PV solar. Mr. Fergus?
Okay, there's actually 3 subtopics under that I addressed in the email. As far as the Soul Smart designation goes, we submitted that 2 Fridays ago. 3 Fridays ago, because they wanted 2 weeks and then they were going to get back to us. And I suspected that was going to be a problem if they got too many applications, and they sent out an email that said just that. They were overwhelmed. So there'll be a delay in knowing what's going on. But obviously it's a very popular program. In our application, there's 3 levels: bronze, silver, gold. John Stone and I went through, and there's a couple things you have to do that we haven't done, but there are simple things like putting up a website. I mean, that's not hard. A lot of the other criteria, they want to make sure that the permit for a photovoltaic system would cost less than $400. Ours cost $74. They wanted that the permit review would take less than 10 days. About half of ours are being approved the same day they're submitted. So it appears that it's a shoo-in for gold, except we do have to fix a few things. Now, of course, it could come back and they'd say, you didn't quite understand, you bent the rules too much. But anyway, we're going to see how that goes. And part of the program is that they will provide technical assistance in kind to help you reach some of what you want to do. And we have an individual in the city who's been at some of our meetings, who's deeply involved with this technology. And he's already been in contact with them, and they're very interested in getting him involved. So we'll see what happens there. I hope to have something today, but it didn't happen. The next item is PACE. and you've got some paperwork on that. I suggest that Julie send out the complete packet, but she didn't want to kill a grove of trees, so we didn't. But if you want all the reference material to the stuff that was sent out, she does have it in digital form, and I guess she could send it to you. This is really an action item. It's scheduled to go in front of the council next Wednesday. And at our last meeting, the board had recommended we pursue PACE. This goes a step further. This actually would implement it. And so it would be appropriate if the board were to recommend do something, don't do something, whatever. There are 3 different organizations offering PACE financing in the state. I pursued getting involved with all 3 of them. 2 of them have been very cooperative. It's basically you say, we want to do it, they go off and do it, and it's done. The third one, they want the city staff to make up the arrangements with the property appraiser and the tax collector and stuff, and to do it. And I'm not sure what's involved with that, and I guess I would ask Courtney to make any comments on how you feel, what should be done with that instance. The others, I think, is pretty easy. That one, they were adopted in Broward County in June, did both that one plus Wyvern. So it can't be too bad, but I don't know why they...
I don't have a problem arranging meetings with other government agencies. What I don't want to be involved with is their meetings with private residents at all, in any way, shape, or form. So if they need to meet with government agencies to set up the funding mechanism, that's fine, I'll be glad to help that, but not anything else.
I guess I, at least twice, asked them in writing for material. I didn't get it. So the question is that something maybe John Stone, when he gets back, he might carry a little more weight or Jim Beadle sending them something would certainly have weight. Because the one thing they don't have that I couldn't get was anything describing the city's liability as being part of the program. The other 2 provide very specific documentation, all the legal words that said, you don't have a problem. The city's not liable for anything. The other folks didn't.
That would be very difficult to do because the agenda is due now. We're developing that. So I was developing it with the 2 providers if the Sustainability Board moves forward with it. But to get all that information from that company by the next agenda would be difficult.
I figured
so
that.
we could add them later. If they provide it later, we can always do it again.
That's what I was thinking would be the point. In other words, to recommend the 2 that are kind of just plain vanilla,
right,
and then say the staff should maybe work with the other to see if we can get it to work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
we can always add them later.
Yeah, and just tell them that they're trying to come lightly because they didn't come through with what was needed.
Right. That's fine.
I don't know whether anybody's read the material or not, but now probably the time for a motion in a second. For discussion.
All right, then I'll make a motion that we go ahead and suggest to the city council to go along with the 2 programs that are going to cooperate and let the third come in when they're ready to give us the information we need.
I second.
Thank you.
Hey, before we take a roll call on that, I think we need to open that to public comment. Is there anyone has any comment on this particular item?
I just want to say, I totally support what you guys are doing, and just to let you know, we really appreciate the fact that you had those people, the vendors come out the last meeting. We actually had the guy from Orlando, Will, come and do a quote for us, clubhouse, even the pool heating. And then we got that member on the roof, which he says is perfect for solar. So we've approached our condominium association president, so they're getting together. They haven't gotten together yet, but they're, doing, the normal emails. So we're really appreciate what you guys set up last meeting, So we hope we can, keep making progress on getting La Playa to be, the first, PV photovoltaic solar condo. So thank you.
Thank you.
Again, before we go to a roll call, maybe we could go left, right. Are there any board members that have any questions or comments for John on that?
Thank you. It's good.
Whatever.
All right, John Fergus,
Yes.
Eugene Matthews,
Yes.
Mindy Gibson,
Yes.
David Floyd,
Yes.
David Bigliotti,
Yes.
Josh Paz,
Yes.
Jeff Chasteen,
Yes.
motion carried.
And just to let everybody know that Member Bigliotti is now a solar person. He has solar on his roof.
That's true. From Brevard Solar, they did a fantastic job. I just got my bill today, and I'll just show it to you.
Oh, yes? That's the best
Triple
kind of bill.
zeros. Triple zero. So I'm feeling good about it.
You're here.
I like the way it looks, and
How much do you have, 8, 7.5 K?
I don't even know. It's on the south side of my house.
No power bill. That's what he does.
That's all it counts.
That's what matters. Zero.
I'm just really excited about it.
Sorry.
It's the entire south side of my house is all solar.
So did you go like at 100% then, or, because they were
It did
suggesting you
this month,
don't?
yeah, because, it was just sunny.
Oh,
as
sunny.
all
Okay.
get out, and I was on vacation, so we didn't use a lot of electric.
You probably.
Yeah, I might have actually made money this month. Just have to look at it. But I have the proposal in the contract if you guys want to. I think, did I bring it in? I thought I did.
I'd
bring
like
it
to
in.
see it.
It was in
I thought
the,
it sent it in.
you did.
When I get my, it's 5.5 years.
Wow. That's great.
So in 5.5 years, it'll pay for itself.
You can't do that well with bonds or stocks.
No, you cannot. It's the best investment. If you're going to live here, you might as well just do it. Bite the bullet. Take your money out of those stocks and bonds. It's only paper.
So we have, all of our members live what they preach, so that's kind of neat.
Well, Josh, what's the deal with you?
Well, I don't want to steal Dave's thunder. Today's Dave's day. This is Dave's time in the spotlight, but I'm coming up right on his heels. They put in the scaffolding yesterday, as a matter of fact. So these are hardworking guys. It's about 150 degrees. They're out there on the roof. These are awesome, hardworking guys. And hopefully next month I can say the same with a nice zero electric bill. That would be awesome. That's all I can say.
And then there's a third item here. And this is more for information. The League of Women Voters, and a group called the Community Power Network, a nonprofit, have joined forces to create Florida Sun, Solar United Neighborhoods, and their goal is to expand access to solar by educating Floridians and such. And the Space Coast chapter of the League of Women Voters wants to mobilize coalition organizations to fulfill the mission by offering educational events about solar, then they go into forming co-ops and stuff, which I think with PACE funding probably isn't necessary. And so.
But the co-ops do get you a discounted rate.
Yeah, if you can arrange that somehow.
Yeah, so there might be some benefit.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not something I don't think the city can properly take on as the city problem. I think there are probably legal issues with that.
To do a co-op?
Yeah. Might be a question to ask these.
I don't see a legal issue with it.
A staff issue, maybe.
Yeah. So, I plan on attending this, just out of,
Okay.
so I will be there.
There's a Florida Sun meeting Wednesday, August 24th. Plenty of notice here. 6:30 to 8 in the evening at the Florida Solar Energy Center up in Cocoa. And I wanted folks in this board to be aware of that. And I guess another question I've got is whether folks here would like somebody, and I guess that's me, to contact the League of Women Voters and see about linking up with that.
Could you come up to the podium?
I just realized that the 24th is your meeting.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
What's that, a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they'll just have to change the time of their meeting.
Is this something that, that we should possibly entertain,
Make that our meeting?
changing our meeting by one day or something like that for that month? Or
It's up to you guys.
Maybe
Or
I think it's
wanna
enough notice
entertain a motion on that?
for me.
I guess the question is.
I mean, for
the
folks
first
that-
question is, how many people here think they might like to go to that meeting? I think that's the answer.
So we'll just notice it, that the meeting location has changed, and it won't be a typical meeting. All of you will be attending that meeting, that's fine.
And you're just saying forego the August meeting then?
Unless we have some pressing matter to bring to you, we can notify you of that. I doubt it,
Okay.
but
Okay.
you want to do that?
You know, I got a question on that. You mentioned that the League of Women Voters were talking about a co-op type of, way to do solar, right? So I'm thinking, what about a condominium, right? That's like, you got 37 people, homeowners. That would be you might be able to do something, fund it with, have it set up like a co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good structure for that.
Yeah, that's probably the ideal structure because you already have a legal group.
Yeah.
And so, probably that's how you're going to have to do it anyway on the roof instead of you getting this panel and somebody getting that panel or something. You say, okay, we're going to co-op the roof somehow.
Yeah. We'll have to, check that out because in our process, Will, in his quote, and the financing of it and how we approach it, we were kind of talking about all the different ways you can do it. So probably have to get educate ourselves on what they have to
Condo
offer.
association members can not only scrutinize the color you paint on your front door, but they can come inside and make sure that you don't leave your lights on when you're
Right, yeah, that's very true.
You can tell Jeff's been in a condo before.
Yeah, they have a key to your house and come in anytime. One disadvantage.
But that is a good point, though. When we get the solar companies on board, if council approves those resolutions, we may want to create a meeting to introduce them to the community and invite the condominium associations as part of that, kind of roll it out.
Yeah.
So that might be a good event to think
Yeah.
about.
Two of the people with the two organizations that we've recommended, we're just dying to come here, and I expect they'll be at next Wednesday's meeting.
Okay.
And so I'm fairly sure that they would be quite happy to come to a community meeting that said, we're going to roll out PACE. And, I mean, if you really want to get fancy, you put some of invite the solar installers also to come and almost make a...
We can just make those companies organize it.
There you go. Okay. So I guess the question I still got is whether we want to look into dancing with the League of Women Voters on promoting solar stuff, or no?
I strongly support it. Do we need a motion?
When you say support, what do you mean?
Contact and find out. It sounds like primarily offering the meetings and stuff like that, which I think we want to do anyway. So it sounds to me like, and also that was part of what the Soul Smart application was interested in, whether you were going to try to go more regional, and that's exactly what's happening here. So it sounds to me like it's something that, you know, we can contact them and find out how we interact with them, and, you know, at the next meeting, whenever that is, you know, could bring something back and say, here's how it might operate.
Okay.
So if everybody kind of nods, yes, I guess we'll just pursue that then.
It's called consensus. Consensus.
And I think the only other thing, and I'll just add it as very early, Alan Potter and I have had some discussions about the possibility of the city actually installing some solar, and I don't know whether either you or Courtney want to make any comments, or just to let people know that that discussion's taking place. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so are there any board members that have anything in addition to that, as far as projects and things like that, they'd like to update the rest of the board on?
Run something on the screen.
All right.
All right. Check out
Mr. Hanson has the floor.
All right, so this is the series that I was talking about that I'm working on water quality, very similar to the one that I'd like to do for the solar panels, that solar series. We would then have, you know, enrollment leaders speaking about, you know, their experiences and everything of that nature. So we'll let them watch this.
Speak for Water is a new series presented by Balance for Earth that will connect you with community advocates for clean water. While working on my last documentary on water quality, I met many unsung heroes, passionate individuals, and concerned citizens across so many aspects of life. All are taking actions to protect the health of our water and the lives of communities that depend on it. It's heartbreaking for all of us who live, work, and play along with Lagoon to see how the quality of water has declined. To understand how we got here, we must confront the brutal truth, go beyond searching the branches and acknowledge the roots defining it. Those roots start with us, how we live, how we change land, how we dispose of our waste. As a human community, we have become disconnected from nature. We have forgotten that our lives, our economy, our health, and even the food we eat are all connected to the land. The responsibility and ability to change lies in the hands of each individual in the community and their daily decisions. Remember that choosing not to decide or act is still making a decision. It still leads to an outcome. If water could speak, it would tell us that I am the essence of all life. I flow through every living creature and support every successful business venture. Water cannot speak for itself. Speak for Water will provide that voice. Speak for Water will dive deep into the depths of our waters and find the light that will give rise to. We will share as many values with you and help you discover how to live in balance with our water and our environment. Speak for Water is a community voice project aimed to unite and empower the community to restore the health of our waters and the life that depends on it. Working together with one voice, we will create a brighter, more prosperous, and environmentally balanced future. All life has the right to thrive, and our purpose is to help. If we can't help, at least do no harm. Don't be passive to injustice. If you do not act, eventually you will lose the ability to protect yourself and those you love. Fixing all these consequences of past mismanagement may seem overwhelming, but the solution starts today. Nature is resilient. If we remove some stressors, nature will heal itself. It's really that simple. It is our responsibility to take action now. Trust that you will not fall or fail. Join us to restore the health of our waters and planet Earth one step at a time. Balance for Earth asks you to engage actively in this community project. Please share your connection with our waters and what living in balance with them means to you. Speak for water.
So that's the trailer for the series. I also wanted to show you guys one last thing. This happened actually today in Merritt Island. We talked about fertilizers, things of that nature.
So, hi, Florida, Cocoa Beach. You guys love your $1 million homes and your beautiful lawns, but you have no respect for life because here we are next to a baby dolphin who's passed away because there's algae blooming because you keep feeding it. You keep feeding this system algae and it doesn't need it. Doesn't need nutrients for your beautiful lawns. We don't need this anymore here. We have to stop it.
So that was sent to me by one of my friends earlier today, and that's our community, guys. That's what we're dealing with. That's why it exists. But I did just want to update you guys. This series, the trailer for that series, is actually going to be very similar to what I was thinking for the solar series. So when we're ready to move forward with that. That's all. Did anyone have any questions?
Great job. What's your anticipated rate of publication?
Sorry, what do you mean?
One a month, or?
Oh, it's technically, well, right now we've already got 20 speakers that I've already finished for that one. And that one's going to start in August, and it's probably going to be almost one per week. And it's going to coincide with a few other programs that I'm going to start at Cigarette by the Plastics campaign as well. And I'm doing something with the Brevard Coalition and the River Coalition. But I was thinking that for the solar series, in the beginning, once a month would be great, because I mean, I don't know how many people we really have that have stories. And so, I mean, we actually do have quite a few, don't we? How many people do we have in?
We only have 15 units in the city.
Okay, so technically once a week would be pretty aggressive.
That does include these two, but.
So I mean, maybe twice a month or something we could have.
But again, I think if we get the PACE funding folks, some of the vendors, the installers, you could probably talk to. I have different folks and give you some names of people you know, and so you'd have the users and the installers and the financiers, and then.
See, my vision originally was really just trying to put more faces and stories, you know, into this whole project so that the community feels more engaged, and I don't know, it's something about a story that just grabs someone and really brings them on board.
Yeah. Well, I can think of one we could talk about. They put in, it wasn't PV, it was solar hot water. Put it in over 10 years ago. Still working like a charm.
Wow. That would be one right there. Thank you.
Any public comment for that?
Real quick, Jeff, before we go on, I don't know if I need a motion for this, but you had mentioned Brevard Indian River Lagoon Coalition. Good folks, and I've been working with them a little bit too. I was wondering if there'd be any objections on the board to our sustainability board being listed as an official partner of that organization. And that, a strategic partner, forgive me, a strategic partner.
What does that mean?
That means that basically what it means is this nails it better than I could have said it. Allison already got it right here. This is why the Brevard Indian River Lagoon Coalition exists. Their whole purpose is to try to bring nonprofits, local businesses, other stakeholders together so that we can begin negotiating an actual solution to this problem at a county level.
Now, I guess my question is, as a, what did you call it?
Strategic partner.
As a strategic partner, what is the responsibility of a strategic partner? In other words, just to participate in meetings, to provide funding, to...
At this point, we're not looking for any funding, we're not looking for any participation in any specific meetings, so much as being available to the coalition to reach out to when... Go ahead, Courtney.
I was just going to say, we kind of already are. I mean, the city is. We've been working with the coalition pretty tightly to support the county's referendum for the lagoon, and that meeting for the county commission meeting will be August 9th, and without the coalition, we wouldn't have been able to get people to that meeting. I mean, the coalition really stepped in and did all that because they have a broader audience than I do. And then Melissa Martin, who is the president of that, she has drafted a position paper from the coalition to the county, has been instrumental in the county agreeing to a citizen committee, oversight committee with municipal representation. So they have been very instrumental in getting that forward. And the city has been, working alongside them doing the same thing. So we pretty much already do that, honestly. I mean, so I don't think you'd be stepping into new waters by saying that it's a
strategic partnership.
Yeah. Good. I mean, that's just my advice.
Unless that is, if it's an official designation, the question is the city officially designated as a...
Well, it's not a membership or anything. It's literally just saying you're on board with what we're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything they do that we don't agree with. I mean, there hasn't been.
Okay, so you don't see any additional benefit in this board?
I don't see a downfall in this board being a strategic partner.
Well, also move it.
Second? The motion?
Yeah.
Whatever the motion is? So is it a
To
motion?
be a strategic partner.
Okay.
Do we?
Yeah, let's go ahead and, is there any public comment for this?
I'd like to say I fully support it. Sounds like a great idea. Synergy.
It kind of fits with what Josh was talking about, the idea of, what was it, kind of coordinating, linking
Right.
type thing. It's
Exactly.
kind of what it is.
Exactly. That's kind of what, things are moving quick, but that's effectively what that project is merged into, with the specific focus for the lagoon. And then once that's resolved, there'll be more. But I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, you got it right.
I got a question. Courtney, you were just saying that the city already works pretty closely. And so this board that really serves as an agent for the city, on the things that the city asks us to, to undertake. I mean, it almost sounds as if it's sort of redundant. Is that, I mean, am I
No,
missing
I mean,
something?
we just haven't been formally, tagged to them by saying we're a strategic partner, but we really have been. I mean, we've worked with them the whole time of trying to get this dedicated funding source for the lagoon put together.
This moved pretty quick. We haven't had a meeting since this all began. This has all been moving really, really quick the last month.
So on the August 3rd meeting with City Council, we will have a resolution of the City of Satellite Beach supporting that referendum. And then on August 9th, the County Commission will be holding their meeting, where most of the lagoon supporters will be there with blue shirts on, so I'm hoping to see you all there. We'll be passing out the shirts at that meeting. So the shirts have your logo on it. And then the coalition has been instrumental in organizing a lot of that, as well as the Marine Resources Council, so.
Absolutely. Big shout out.
So I don't think you're really doing anything outside of what we already do. It's just to be a formalization of it. So.
Right, we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, so I just figured it would be, in case anyone had an objection. I'd be shocked if anyone did, but just if there was, here's a chance to voice any objection.
Well, let me ask, would it be more appropriate that the board move to recommend that the council specify that the city is a...
I'm personally much more inclined towards that as well.
We can do that. We can do that on August 3rd with the coalition, and you're gonna be at the meeting, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be at that meeting anyway. I just, for what it's worth, as a member of both, I'm kind of switching hats, but it's a good chance for us to just, it's peanut butter and jelly, and this is one more place to get our logo in the right minds, you know what I'm saying? One
And
more place
the city
to-
council would be glad to defer the logo to the board, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
If you feel more comfortable for them saying yes, then that's fine.
Well, do you want to, I'm willing to amend my motion if the second is that we recommend that the council designate the city instead of the board.
To be honest, the biggest holdup is the Brevard Indian River Lagoon Coalition, boy, that's a mouthful, is trying to launch a website in preparation for this August 9th meeting. And I wanted to have our Sustainability Board logo on it as a prominent...
Okay, the point is, this would occur next week. That's right, a week from...
Right, so our lead time is already kind of tight. If we could get it solid yes today, that would be nice. But if not, I'm not trying to make...
Well, why don't we do this then? I would move that the board, become a...
Strategic partner.
I can't get that anyway, strategic partner, and pending city council formally doing it on behalf of the city. How's that work?
Seconded.
It's already been seconded.
Okay, I'm willing to, how do I formally say that?
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay. Does that work with what you're trying to do, your schedule?
Just to make sure I'm clear, so in other words, we have pending permission today, yes, unless the city says no on the 3rd?
Yeah, well,
Got it.
or the city could say they're not going to do it and let the board leave the board
Leave the board where it is.
as the
Strategic partner.
strategic partner.
Gotcha, but as of the end of this vote, we are effectively a strategic partner until...
Yes,
Yeah.
unless city council rescinds.
Unless
it.
city council
becomes-
supersedes.
Got it, totally agree,
Okay?
understood.
Do we understand the process here?
I do, I'm sorry, I'm a little fuzzy here.
Okay.
Eugene Matthews?
Yes.
Josh Potts?
Yes.
David Bigliotti?
Yes.
Dave Floyd?
Yes.
Mindy Gibson?
Yes.
John Fergus?
Yes.
Jeff Chasteen?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Court of Profession, have you talked to Melissa at all about the video series we're going to do for it?
I have not, I've heard about it.
You heard about it?
So that's great.
Yeah,
I
I'll
like
send
it.
you a copy of it.
Yeah, Josh was telling me earlier.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. I think that meeting is, I was telling, really anybody, that this is the first time I've seen the environmental community in Brevard County organized so much. And so it's good to see. And I hope to see that the meeting on August 9th, that we really make a showing and the news picks that up and shows the community that this is something we need to support.
Okay. Another project that's going on parallel, not directly involved with this board, but does have to do with sustainability. Several weeks ago, a month ago, a group of us met talking about how some ways to try to remove nutrients from water that's in the stormwater ponds instead of letting it just leach into the groundwater. And for what it's worth, samples were collected this last week. They've been sent off to the lab, and I understand in 1 or 2 weeks that'll be done, and so we'll have, as far as I know, the first laboratory analysis of water in our ponds, telling us how much it contains and stuff. And then they're going to use that to try to tailor a biologic remediation process, perhaps to basically denitrify the water in the ponds. We'll see how that works. But
You're talking about like the floating islands?
Now, this is, they've got some bugs they've cultured. They've used them specifically, they've mentioned India, Mexico, third world countries, that have pollution that would make the lagoon look clean, if you can imagine. And it basically is the stuff, they also sell it for use in septic systems.
Okay.
Once every month, you take a packet, you flush it down the toilet, and it cleans up instead of the nitrogen stuff just going into the soil, it disappears. And so they're interested in trying it here and see if it works, and, if it does, then some interesting things could happen. But, the city's involved with that, going off on kind of parallel track here.
All right. So I think that item 7 is now kind of a non-starter. We've sort of decided we're not having that meeting. And so I suppose if there was a motion to adopt the minutes of the June 17th workshop, and I'd certainly entertain it.
Who was at the workshop? Is that ours? So moved. Okay.
Seconded.
Member Pause moved to adopt the minutes. Forgive me, Member Ferguson, Member Pause seconded.
Yeah.
Eugene Matthews?
Yes.
David Bigliotti?
Yes.
Mindy Gibson?
Yes.
Dave Floyd?
Yes.
Josh Paz?
Yes.
John Fergus?
Yes.
Jeff Chasteen?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Did that motion also include the June 22nd minutes?
Also
Yes,
move
did I
that
fail to
one?
say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll move that one.
Seconded.
Eugene Matthews?
Yes.
David Bigliotti?
Yes.
Mindy Gibson?
Yes.
David Floyd?
Yes.
Josh Paz?
Yes.
John Fergus?
Yes.
Jeff Chasteen?
Yes, and apologize.
Motion carried.
All right. Oh,
Carol Robichek, Satellite Beach. Before you guys go, I would really like to ask where we stand as far as the reusable bags for Publix and with the garden project.
I can take the bag one if you want to take the garden. Funny enough, we just got these samples in today. These are the pouch style reusable bags. These are made out of plastic, so they fold up nice and small into your pocket. You can keep in your pocket, but then when you get to the store, you pop it out. This was all Courtney's idea. A lot more convenient than the tote style, so they're a lot more convenient. Now, other people had mentioned the only downside of these, they are made out of recycled plastics, so they're not biodegradable, just like a disposable plastic bag. So it is definitely a net improvement to the environment by reusing this as opposed to making more landfill waste. But as an option, we've also been sourcing, we've been trying to source an organic, biodegradable option. I've done a whole lot of research on this. Short answer, bamboo is probably one of the best options. Well, and I need some education, so I see you cringing. Find my information, send me an email. Please tell me what I don't know. I'm still learning. But looking for an organic option, basically, they're more expensive is the issue. The unit price is about 3 times more. But as an option to have a small amount of those, that's something we're definitely going to try to put together too. The order should be in here, so now within a few weeks we should be coming together with a much clearer plan regarding the distribution, where you guys can pick them up and so on, with all those details.
There's been some talk about having logos like the Women's Club logo.
Yes.
on it. Yes. I was wondering what price tag was that coming with?
I don't know that we had a specific.
We didn't really have a specific one. We were asking the Women's Club to come up with that donation, and we were actually more interested from the Women's Club, the booth at the Founder's Day Marketplace. Yeah.
So exchange for the booth at Marketplace for the logo on the side.
And any money would be good. We're always looking for money.
Well, it's hard to ask if you don't have some sort of idea out there.
Yeah, to help make up for what we were wanting to do is, with the bamboo, purchase them and then resell them for sea turtle education, pretty much is what Surfrider was looking at, correct? Or
Well, using them as a fundraiser, we're not selling
Fundraiser.
anything, but offering them
Right,
in
as a
exchange for a
fundraiser,
donation,
right.
as a fundraiser, either to fund more of the bag program directly or sea turtle education, which isn't exactly what Surfrider does directly, but they
Right.
do partner with other organizations that are better equipped to do that.
And so with that, that is the part that we don't have funded yet, and that's $1,500. So we're looking for corporate sponsors for that. So whatever the Women's Club, Lions Club, and other organizations can provide to that, that would be great. Right? Or $1,500 is what we're looking at?
Ballpark price for 250 of the bamboo, we're looking at about 1,600, and then there's shipping costs as well. A lot of these prices depend on print.
You know, we don't have that kind of money,
Well,
so.
we know, but so we were just, just every little bit counts, so anything towards it would be great. Because that would help us, I mean, nobody's going to give us $1,700, so we're asking for, a little bit here and a little bit there, and,
I have a comment, I guess, on the bags thing as well. So would you guys like,
sorry.
So we also, Keep a Bird Beautiful has a program called Litter Quitter that we've worked with the Surfrider Foundation on through their bags campaign. So since you guys are working and going to be distributing bags, would you guys like to be listed as a litter quitter, either the City of Satellite Beach or the Sustainability Board?
I would say absolutely.
And so basically what that comes with is that we market you and your initiatives.
Cool. That'd be great.
Good. Okay.
Allison, the trip, on behalf of Litter Quitter, has already mentioned any merchant in town willing to help us with the distribution for kiosks would also qualify
Yeah,
for
so
the
that's
Litter
something you
Quitter
can offer.
program. But we're still kind of working out we were just meeting before this to
Right.
discuss like where we're going to give them out and how we're going to work all that out. So still getting that all together.
It's coming together, though, so. Deciding on the bags took forever,
Gears move slow, but they move.
Is there a date that's out there that you're targeting towards?
We want to be ready to go before Founder's Day.
Mhm.
That would be the big anchor event.
People remember how long it took to adopt the logo. This is.
Right, we haven't even designed it yet. This is still the.
Yeah, I mean, Founder's Day in our world is like tomorrow, so we're.
What colors?
So what we wanted to do was launch it at Founder's Day. That was the idea. And what we were looking at was even doing the float, in Founder's Day with the, plastic bag, it's bad type float with maybe a sea turtle, stuff like that.
Courtney, that just reminded me, I'd forgot. We keep talking about a float. I know somebody that has a trailer that you can haul a car on. That's what it's designed for. And in the past, they've offered it, and it's been used in the Founder's Day Parade. If you were going to use a city vehicle, that's one thing. If you wanted, I can contact them and see if they'd be interested in making it available for the sustainability.
Yeah.
It'd be cool, we could have like a rubber band and we could pull back and throw those bags out to the, you know what I mean? That'd be fun. Or a t-shirt. Or t-shirt.
You don't worry about
Yeah, that's what I'm
liability
saying,
at all.
like T-shirt cannon. Throw a t-shirt or.
People throw candy, so.
Yeah, we're throwing something usable. Or
Okay.
sustainable.
Do I take that then as consensus to ask about a trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we were talking about a trailer this morning, or this afternoon.
Oh, well, I think he'll probably, yeah. Maybe we can get somebody an electric car.
Now, I think the question also was posed for Member Bigliotti, especially say something about the community garden.
To answer the question about the community garden, we are very excited about it. We're having our first meeting this Friday at 3 o'clock. Is it public welcome? Are we going to do a public thing? Yeah, public. Monday.
Monday, August 1st.
I just put this in my calendar.
Oh, really?
So it's on
This Friday? Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that scheduled it, yeah.
August 1st. They scheduled it, I was just saying the wrong date. They know.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you
no.
want to have a meeting that people show up to, you don't do it at Friday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's true, that cuts into my happy hour. Okay, so it is
Here.
It'll be-
right here,
Yeah, at 3 p.m.
3 p.m., August 1st.
So I'm a little new. Terrence Brookins, Satellite Beach. That's just a small question. I'm a little new up to this whole sustainability stuff. What is this community garden that you're talking about?
The community garden,
Go to the meeting.
go to the meeting, is basically about, it is on DeSoto Park, right behind the racquetball courts. We're going to try to utilize that space that's not being utilized, and we're going to have a community garden where people can go and grow things and learn things and build community and cause less crime, is what it actually has a history of doing, believe it or not, because it builds community. People get together and learn about how to grow things, and
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay.
I love that comment.
Yeah, all right. So, like, is there any certain type of plants or, like, just anything you want to build or plant?
Well, that's what we're going to basically talk about, is you could actually purchase a particular plot of per, season, and then you'd be able to just utilize that space and grow whatever that you'd like to grow.
Sure.
We're going to supply the plot, the space, and the water and the sun.
How about how much would you sell each space for? Like, is there certain, like, bigger spaces for more money? Like, how much is, like, the quote for each spot?
We don't know yet. That's what they're starting to plan all that on the for August 1st meeting. So
All
the
right.
details of it, like, they know they want to do it, but they're going to sit down and plot it out and create the management of it and all that on August 1st.
All right, thank you.
Okay, if nobody has anything further? Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you.
That was a joke.